This week in Jamaica Now, the latest in the corned beef ban. The Brazilian embassy says none of the companies under probe export to Jamaica, but the government is not satisfied. Opposition protests the $13.5 billion tax package and walks out of Parliament at voting time. And the JUTC responds to a court order to pay up $3.5 million debt or face the possibility of being wound up. I'm Damian Mitchell, and this is Jamaica Now. The Agriculture Ministry says the ban on the importation and distribution of corned beef from Brazil will remain. The ban was imposed on Monday amid reports that some processing plants in the South American country have been processing rotten meat. In a statement Thursday, the Brazilian embassy urged the Jamaican government to lift the ban, saying none of the 21 companies under investigation export to Jamaica. But the government says the ban will remain until it conducts its own investigation after a delegation visits Brazil next week.
To go and identify the plants where they source their corned beef from, and just to cross-check and verify that those plants are in fact safe and wholesome.
And Jamaica's two largest corned beef distributors say they will abide by the ban. Both GraceKennedy Limited and Lasco Distributors say they have taken steps to remove the products from the shelves. In the meantime, GraceKennedy CEO Don Webby says his company is investigating and has found that its corned beef supplier in Brazil was not under probe.
We have always and will continue to ensure that the suppliers conform to internationally recognized food safety standards, including the British Retail Consortium Standard, BRC.
It was a rocky sitting of the Parliament this week as the Finance Minister Audley Shaw closed the budget debates. He was interrupted on several occasions by rowdy PNP MPs demanding a rollback of the adjustment to property taxes and aspects of the $13.5 billion tax package. But that did not stop Shaw, who eventually moved for the passing of the budget with ease after opposition members walked out of the chamber. The opposition spokesman on finance, Dr. Peter Phillips, says his colleagues could not support the budget, but they could not vote against it either because of the potential implications.
For the country as a whole and its credibility in international financial markets and the stability of the country, social and political. And as an opposition, we thought that we needed to register our protest without necessarily causing these catastrophic events to occur.
The corporate area teacher accused of inappropriate behavior involving a student at school has now secured legal representation and could turn himself over to the police. Meanwhile, the child's guardian is demanding transparency in how the school moves to deal with the situation. The school's principal has reported that statements have been collected and the reports sent to the children's registry. The guardian said her 16-year-old ward came home crying as she recounted how the teacher attempted to kiss and fondle her in a classroom. The Office of the Director of Public Prosecutions this week moved to address concerns that a provision of the Cybercrimes Act seeks to reintroduce criminal libel. Under the Act, one can be charged with the use of a computer for malicious communication, an offense with which the co-founder of the Tambourine Army, Latoya Nugent, has been charged. The charge arises from several posts on social media labeling several people as sexual predators. According to the DPP, the Cybercrimes Act does not seek to reintroduce criminal libel. In fact, she says it preserves Parliament's decision to decriminalize defamatory material in written form. The Supreme Court has ordered the Parliament not to table the Contractor General's controversial report against West Hanover MP Ian Hayles before the outcome of a hearing on May 11. Mr. Hayles has filed an application challenging the report. The OCG's report contains damning allegations of impropriety and conflicts of interest by Mr. Hayles and raises questions of irregularity and impropriety in relation to the construction of buildings by him and his wife Charlotte. According to the Contractor General, the constructions were undertaken without approval from the Hanover Parish Council. The state-run Jamaica Urban Transit Company says it is moving to settle a $3.5 million debt to a St. Catherine woman to avoid being wound up by the end of June. The court granted the order to Daniela Manning, who filed a lawsuit against the JUTC last year. Manning saw the order after the JUTC failed to pay her as scheduled, but the JUTC says it is committed to honoring the order of the court. And that's it for this edition of Jamaica Now, your weekly review of the big news stories. Send us your comments at onlinefeedback@gleanerjm.com. You may tune in to Power 106 FM for regular updates. Follow us on Twitter at Jamaica Gleaner and on Facebook at Gleaner Jamaica. I'm Damian Mitchell, and before we go, more from that contentious parliamentary sitting on Wednesday as the finance minister closed the budget debate.
Where you believe your valuation is too high, you may lodge an objection within 60 days of service of notice with the Commissioner of Land. The National... Mr. Speaker, we have increased the PATH program and other social safety nets by 47%. 47%. How are you so chatty today? Huh? The greatest transfer of wealth from the rich to the poor since the abolition of slavery. I should sit down and let you get up and say it again. That's what I should do right now.
Mr. Please address the Speaker.
Income tax relief.
No, Mr. Speaker.
And social protection services.
Mr. Speaker, you know the member cannot talk. Mr. Speaker, shut up there, man.
Mr. Speaker, you can walk out of the house, but you can't walk away from the Jamaican people.